All right, welcome to Friday, folks. Here we are, and we have a new pope, thank goodness. That was, I gotta say, watching Twitter as the whole white smoke saga played out was hysterical. There was some of the finest Twitter comedy that I have seen come down the pipe to this point. There was some, it really, I think, something like that gives people a real chance to exercise their funny bones and to be creative, in a very short medium. There was some really, really, really good.
Oh yeah, and like, of course, me being the sports guy, I'm gonna love all the sport reference ones. You know, they've signed the Pope to a lifetime contract, like that kind of stuff. Those were really good. So yeah, no, it was one of those things where I think all these people had like, okay, when it happens, I'm gonna. This is the tweet I'm gonna put out, and you know, obviously, as soon as it happened, I mean, because man, did all those things come fast. Like we sat and read them to each other for a good 10, 15 minutes.
Well, even an hour later, they were still coming. It was, I mean, it captured the whole world's attention, which is interesting because it's irrelevant to a lot of the world. People don't care. It's archaic. That's
why I think so many people latched onto it, though.
Yeah.
That's why there were so many jokes. Is that people were paying attention to it ironically, saying like, "Hey, look how funny it would be if I was actually caring about this and paying attention to it." But in doing so, it was just huge, right? Like so many people were.
Well, there's very few things that are mired in that kind of tradition and history, and you know, it goes back so many thousands of years, and the white smoke thing, and like in this day of technology, they're still using
the bat signal.
The bat signal, exactly.
Well, not even the bat signal had electricity.
That's true.
But how political is it? I mean, he was picked very, very quickly.
Is that
took them 4 votes, right?
4 votes.
Yeah.
Well, he was the runner-up last time.
Yeah.
Which is,
he was almost there.
Don't give up on your dreams, people.
There's always a bridesmaid stuff.
Right, exactly. Always a cardinal, never a pope. Is that?
Yeah, I think that's a saying. Yeah, not anymore though.
No, but I mean, it is fascinating. I learned some stuff, and I mean, I grew up Catholic. I didn't know 90% of this, but interesting now to see day 2 when the reality of his beliefs and etc. come out, and then people are like, "Wow, I didn't believe anyway. I just cared about the white smoke, and it was a great joke, and it was a great, you know, it was fun to watch." But now the reality of it's coming out, and people are like, "Oh, the Catholic Church is still back in the Dark Ages on a number of levels." Right?
When you find out he's hardcore against gay marriage, you're like, "Well, it's not funny anymore." No, yeah, too bad.
He seemed charming when he was up on the. He actually made a joke. He actually made a joke when they first brought him out, because he's from Argentina, and I guess that's for some reason that's surprising that he was picked because he's Argentinian, I guess.
Well, I think he's the first pope from the Americas.
Okay. So see, this is how much attention I paid. But anyway, he made a joke that they went to the ends of the world to find him, and like a pope made a joke. He's got a sense of humor, but apparently as a man, he's humble and like extremely humble. Actually, he would take the bus to work. He used to take the bus to work as a cardinal.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. He's got the red slippers and the robe
and the Pope-mobile.
That's right. Yeah. But just kind of like interesting that, oh wow.
Speaking of Batman, by the way.
But he seems, he seemed like he's young. He has a sense of humor. Young, 76 years young. But he's in better health than the last pope, who looked like he was on death's doorstep when he was elected.
He looked so much like the Emperor from Star Wars, the last pope. Like, I'm sure you've all seen the pictures of on Facebook or online of him shooting electricity out of his hands. It's uncanny. Yeah, I'm gonna miss that about him for sure.
And I'm just so disappointed in the whole thing, because as much as we're all looking at it, you'd think that in this day and age, with all of our creativity and all of our technology, we would have just covered it in a way that was just a little bit more exciting.
Yeah.
We're all just waiting around for white smoke. We've got reality television shows like on every channel. We couldn't up the
ante here.
Well, I read there was a great tweet about they should have done it like a reality show and put them through, who gives the best host, who has the most enthusiastic peace be with you, like vote each other off the island. I like that one. But speaking of reality shows, from one very serious to one very not serious topic, we've been talking about this in the newsroom, about the ridiculousness of some of these American network reality shows and how it's becoming, well, it was a joke for a long time, but that show you mentioned, the
Splash.
So what is it?
Third list celebrities are learning how to dive with like the Greg Louganis and
Greg Louganis.
The great Greg Louganis. He's still around, and you know, Olympians teaching them how to dive. Yep. And I only saw the trailer, and like just watching that, you gotta go.
Is it ABC, NBC?
ABC, I think.
I don't remember, but yeah, they're teaching them how to dive off of a 10-meter platform, which like I can go to Pan Am pool and I look at that thing and I'm just like, I don't know if I could ever do it. So now, like, I guess that's kind of the intrigue. But yeah, these celebrities, like they're training off of like the smaller diving boards and stuff, obviously. But
you get in Dancing with the Stars, I get it. You can see a progression. You can watch. There's a lot to watch for. There's one thing you can do when you dive. You dive.
Or you belly flop. Which is funny, but I don't know, like, for every episode.
It's just getting so random. It seems like they've run out of ideas so much that they're just like, next one will be like, oh, the great celebrity chili cook-off, you know, like it's just, it's so random.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see which ones the networks actually put money into and which don't. Because something like that I would get if there was like, because a lot of reality shows work this way where somebody just has a real interest in something and they're quite an expert at it or quite knowledgeable about it, which actually, that's one of the things I like about reality TV shows that are kind of starting from the ground up. So a bunch of people get together, they're not attached to a network. They're like, let's make a show and then let's sell it to the network. So you don't have a host that's like, I went to school and I have perfect hair. You have a host who...
It's offensive.
Yeah, sorry. But you have a host that's knowledgeable that actually think that brings, like Deadliest Catch, things like that, where you have somebody who is quite knowledgeable, and a lot of the food shows too. But so in this case, I would think, well, yeah, it could be actually really interesting if there's a big group out there who think that diving is really interesting and you have a host that's quite knowledgeable and you get really into it. But this sounds like the network has gone to create it, which makes you wonder, what on earth?
Celebrities. What's the point?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't recognize any of the names.
And you are up on your celebrities. Like, if anybody knows, it's Tracy Koga. Yeah,
well, it really brings to mind, it fell off the rails, Conveyor Belt of Love.
I saw that it was like it ended after 2 episodes. It was so preposterous.
Conveyor belt of love.
There was guys or girls or whatever on a conveyor belt, and they go
like Sushi Train?
Yeah, and
actually,
and the person would the person would pick, and you know, it was like crazy. It was
of love.
It's going the brain.
No,
that sounds amazing.
The horrification on your face.
I love dating show games.
Or Dating in the Dark.
Dating in the Dark was another one.
That was great. I watched it.
But sounds visually stunning.
It was.
Well, you could see that they were. Was it they were in the dark and blindfolded, but then they had the night cams on, so you could actually see the people. Whatever, and of course everybody was just utterly disappointed at the end when the lights went on, and it was, you know.
They got all really superficial people, but they tried to get them to like people based on their personality.
Now I mock, but I do watch, as you all know, actively watch The Bachelor, and clearly there is money in it. I know it's ridiculous, and I don't even know why I watch, and Taryn, my boyfriend, always says, you turn it on and then you complain about how stupid it is for 3 hours, and I have to sit and listen to you complain about it. Stop watching it.
That's why you watch it.
I don't want to stop.
Sometimes it's so much fun to watch something that you think is ridiculous to complain about it.
Right.
That's
it can be fun, but Splash doesn't have either of those things, right? No. Like, you can't really make fun of it. I don't think you're really getting into it. Very strange.
Yeah, it is all very strange.
Where do you go? Where do you go next?
I think
chili cook-off.
We could come up with our own reality show.
I don't. This is.
I think
this
is. That's
Grand Postmodern.
I think we're in it, people.
Yeah.
Good.
I was going to make I have a meeting joke.